This is section 2.3, which is called circles. Okay. So before we start this, we want to go over some different equations that they give you. So there is a standard equation for a circle. So that is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. This one is obviously everybody's favorite because it's very easy to pick off the center and the radius. So the center is h comma k. So it's really important when you plug in that h and you plug in that k, you're switching both of the signs. Change both signs. So these will actually be numbers. So if this guy's negative, you put it down as a positive. If this is a positive, you put it down as a negative. So you're putting down the opposite signs for your center. Your radius, this is going to be a number. Normally your radius is just plain r, but you're going to want to square root that since it's squared in there. Okay, so it's going to be the square root of r squared, which is just your plain r. So this will typically be a number like 4. You would square root the 4, and then your radius would be 2. All right, we're going to do question number 13. Okay, question number 13. Write the standard form of the equation and the general form of the equation of the circle radius r and center h comma k by hand and graph each circle. Okay, well, I guess before we do 13, we need to go over the general equation. So the general equation, x squared plus y squared plus ax plus by plus c equals 0. So basically you just put all of the numbers and all of the variables on the left side and 0 is on this side. So if they give you this, you're going to have to FOIL both of these and subtract that over to the other side. All right, now I think we have enough information to do question 13. Okay, so they said the radius is 2, h comma k equals 0 comma 2. So the first thing I would do is do the standard equation. So the standard equation, you're going to have x minus, and you plug that number in. We're changing signs. Plus y minus, and we're changing signs on those things. Equals, and your radius is 2, so it's 2 squared. Okay, we're going to reduce these, but just remember when you're doing this, you're changing signs in here. Okay, so x minus 0, we don't need that, so this is just plain x squared plus y minus 2 squared, and 2 squared is just 4. So this would be your answer for the standard equation. Then it asks for you to do the general equation. So your general equation, you're going to take this and we're going to have to FOIL that thing. So x squared plus y minus 2 times y minus 2. So I just wrote that out twice since the exponent there is 2 equals 4. So we get x squared plus, and we need to do y times y. So that's y squared. Y times negative 2 is negative 2y. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And then the equals 4 is just carrying down. Okay, so we need to combine like terms, and then we need to get everything on the left-hand side. So I have x squared plus y squared. Negative 2 plus the negative 2 is negative 4y. Plus 4 equals 4. Okay, now we need to move this 4 over to here, so we're going to subtract that 4. When we do that, this is going to cancel, and that will cancel. So we get x squared plus y squared minus 4y equals 0. And then it wants us to graph this circle by hand. So I would probably go with this. So you know 0, 2 is your center. So 0, and then we go up 2, put your dot. Your radius is 2. So I just count 2 on all 4 of the sides. 1, 2, then put your dot. 1, 2, put your dot. 1, 2, put the dot, and then 1, 2, put the dot, and then just connect it and make a circle. As best of a circle as you can make it. Okay, so that's number 13. And then we're going to look at number 33. All right, 33 says find the center and radius of each circle. By hand graph the circle and then find the intercepts, if it has any. All right, so it has 2x squared plus 8x plus 2y squared equals 0. So when we're working this problem out, we're going to have to complete the square. But in order to complete the square, this has to have a coefficient of 1. And it does not right now have a coefficient of 1, so we have to get rid of this 2 in the front. In order to get rid of the 2 in the front, we're going to divide every piece by 2. That gets rid of these 2's and just makes that x squared. 8 divided by your 2 is your 4x. We're going to leave some space here to complete the square. 2 divided by the 2 is just y squared equals 0. So in this gap right here, we're going to need to complete the square. So in order to complete the square, what you do is you take this number in the middle, you divide it by 2 and square it, and you're going to add that to the other side of the equal sign. Divide it by 2 and square it. So that's what you do with this number here. Then you're going to come down on the next line. You're going to put this guy and that guy together. But when you do that, the exponent is going to go on the outside. So you're just going to have this as just plain x. And then 4 divided by 2 is just 2. This y squared is just going to carry down. If you work this out, this is 2, and 2 squared is 4, and 4 plus 0 is just plain 4. From here, we can pick off our center. Remember, if it's in parentheses, we're changing signs. So that's -2. This doesn't have a parenthesis to go with it, so it's just 0 as a placeholder since there's no number in the parentheses at all. All right, your radius, you have to square root that thing. And that's a number one mistake, is forgetting to square root the n number. So the square root of 4 is 2. So the radius is 2. When you're doing x-intercepts, you have to plug 0 in for x and solve for y, and then you do it the opposite way. Okay, so if we want to do the y-intercept first, it doesn't matter which one you do first. You're going to plug 0 in for the x. So I have 0 plus 2 squared plus y squared equals 4. Okay, so 2 squared is 4 plus y squared equals 4. Subtract 4 on both sides. So y squared equals 0. So y just equals 0. Okay, for the x-intercept, we're going to do the opposite now. So we're going to plug 0 in for y and we'll solve for x. So we have x plus 2 squared plus 0 squared equals 4. So I just took this equation, I plugged 0 in for the y. So this thing here is just 0. So I have x plus 2 squared equals 4. So then you need to say what undoes a square. So that would be a square root. So we have to square root both sides. So we have x plus 2 equals plus or minus 2. We need to move this 2 to the other side. So we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. So I get x equals -2 plus or minus 2. We're going to bust that up, break that up into our two cases. So we have -2, and you read across the top. So we have -2 plus 2, and then we have -2 minus 2. So the first one gives us 0, and the second one gives us a -4. And the last thing that we need to do is we need to graph this. So we know our center is -2, 0. So I put my dot there. I know the radius is 2. So I just count from the center 2 on all the sides. So we're going to go up 2, left 2, down 2, and right 2. And then just draw that, and the best that you can, make it look like a circle. Okay, so that's the one for 33. And then the last one we're going to work on is 38. You know what? I think I'm going to get a new piece of paper, so we don't have to look at the pen bleed on the back side. All right, 38. So this says, find the standard form of the equation of each circle. So 38 says that the center is -3, 1, and it's tangent to the y-axis. Cord just got in the way. Sorry about that, cord. Okay, tangent to the y-axis. Okay, tangent is just a big fancy word for touches. It's just a synonym for touches. All right, so we're going to graph this visually. So I have -3, 1. So there's the center. And then we're going to draw it so it touches the y-axis. So that has to touch right there. So count your spaces. I've got 1, 2, 3 spaces. So 3 spaces up, 3 spaces over. So we got 1, 2, 3. So this is what your circle looks like. Just pretend like that hit that dot there. You count your radius. The radius was 3. So you're going to put them together. So we're going to do x. When you come to this, remember you must change the signs. So x plus 3 squared plus, and we're going to change the sign on that guy, y minus 1 squared equals, and then when it comes to the radius, you have to square that radius. So it's 3 squared. So this is going to be x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 9. And this is the answer that you want.